Hello and welcome to SEO is Not That Hard. I'm your host, Ed Dawson, the founder of keywordspeopleuse.com, the place to find and organise the questions people ask online. I'm an SEO, developer, affiliate marketer and entrepreneur. I've been building and monetising websites for over 20 years and I've bought and sold a few along the way. I'm here to share with you the SEO knowledge, hints and tips I've built up over the years. Hello and welcome to SEO is Not That Hard. It's me here, Ed Dawson, hosting as usual. And today I'm asking the question, how does ChatGPT really compare to Google? Well, this has come up because I've been thinking about this quite a bit recently because I am using ChatGPT more and more often. I've mentioned this in a few podcasts recently, and I was wondering, how does that compare to people's general use online? How much is this affecting the online world? Because, as a website owner, I'm still seeing, traffic strong across sites, notwithstanding Google's updates, changing things up and down. But in general, I'm not seeing, major changes in people's user behavior of the people that use our websites. But I'm wondering, what's the long-term trend here? Obviously there's a lot of hype in the industry about ChatGPT and others like Claude and that kind of thing. But it's a case of, is this really something that's a massive shift in the short term, or is it just something that we in the industry are noticing because it affects how we work, but it's not affecting many people? It's not the norm for people, say, to use something like ChatGPT. So I actually thought, I'm going to dig into some statistics here. So I've been doing a good bit of looking around to see how many people actually use ChatGPT, and then sort of comparing that to how many people actually use Google. So what I found is that currently, we're in October 2024 now, there's something like, the general consensus that I'm finding from all the different sources is that there's around 200 million sort of what we would call active subscribers to ChatGPT. So that's its active user base. As people who have used ChatGPT at some time during the last month, which, sounds like a lot. But comparing that to Google, Google has something like 5 billion users. So we are talking, what's that for? About 25 times bigger, if I got the maths right. Yeah, that's right, 25 times bigger. So for every one ChatGPT user, or as I say, for every one person that's used ChatGPT this month, there are 25 people who have used Google this month. So that's a big difference. And then if you look at how many of those people are using the ChatGPT paid version, so plus and above, the numbers vary, but it's somewhere between 4 million and 10 million, depending on the source. So again, that's really quite a small number because if you're using ChatGPT, the free versions, you're limited in the models that you can use. You don't get the latest models, so you don't get the very best functionality. You're limited in terms of how ChatGPT will work with Google search, with image, with search in general, and with images and with uploading files and things like that. So those people who are using the premium version, like many of us listening to this probably are actually incredibly small in compared to that 5 billion. So let me do the maths on that. Yes, that works out around about somewhere between 500 and 1,000 Google users for every one paid ChatGPT user. So while the noise in the industry is incredible about it, the actual user numbers out in the real world are still, really, really quite small. I then looked at, what kind of interactions people are having. So in terms of Google searches per day, there are around 23 billion Google searches every single day, whereas ChatGPT conversations every single day, there's around about 10 million. So again, you're comparing the numbers, that's 2,300 times more searches per day than there are ChatGPT conversations. So you can see the vast gulf here. It becomes even more stark if you look at it and say, right, if we've got X number of users per month and they're making X number of searches or conversations per month, how often are people sort of, using each of these services? So Google, 5 billion users across 23 billion searches per day times by 30 for a month, it equals 135 times a month. So an average Google user is making 135 searches a month. Whereas we've got 200 million ChatGPT users and 10 million conversations a day. It actually works out as being the average ChatGPT user has 1.5 conversations per month with ChatGPT. So you can see here, basically, you're almost 100 times more likely to use Google than you are to use ChatGPT. And, Google's embedded in people's usage patterns, and they're going to go to it again and again and again. So this, you can see here, the difference in the kind of usage is actually massive. So again, just demonstrates how big the difference is out there and how most search behavior is still very much firmly entrenched in the Google world. So yeah, I think that's a positive for, SEOs and site owners out there, that, the world very much is still approaching a search through a search engine point of view rather than going directly through places like ChatGPT. I think obviously as an industry, we're possibly scared ourselves, because we are always going to be the kind of people that will use this kind of technology because it is very useful for content creators and people who work with a lot of data and that kind of thing. But for the average person out there on the street, who ultimately are our customers, they're still very much entrenched in that Google world. And, 99% of all search, is still in that kind of traditional search engine way. And things are going to change in time, surely, definitely. But in the short to medium term, I think we're still going to see Google being that gateway, which is where that still very firmly has to be our focus. Anyway, that's it from me today. Hope you found this useful. Hope you found this interesting. I hope if you think I've got any of the stats wrong, do correct me. Do get in touch. Love to hear from you. But till next time, see you later. Before I go, I just wanted to let you know that if you'd like a personal demo of our tools that Keywords People use, that you can book a free, no obligation, one-on-one video call with me, where I show you how we can help you level up your content by finding and answering the questions your audience actually have. You can also ask me any SEO questions you have. You just need to go to keywordspeopleuse.com/demo, where you can pick a time and date that suits you for us to catch up. Once again, that's keywordspeopleuse.com/demo, and you can also find that link in the show notes of today's episode. Hope to chat with you soon. Thanks for being a listener. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and share. It really helps. SEO is not that hard. It's brought to you by keywordspeopleuse.com, the place to find and organise the questions people ask online. See why thousands of people use us every day. Try it today for free at keywordspeopleuse.com. To get an instant hit of more SEO tips, then find the link to download a free copy of my 101 quick SEO tips in the show notes of today's episode. If you want to get in touch, have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. I'm at Channel5 on Twitter. You can email me at podcast@keywordspeopleuse.com. Bye for now, and see you in the next episode of SEO is Not That Hard.